I'm Tony Zaza, host of Bullies, a reality show, and we hear from everyday kids and parents across America via our website about their bullying stories. All across the country, we're just a plane ride away. We sit down and talk to ask them the hard and emotional questions about what they're going through. We then give these kids a makeover, a VIP experience. We give them a new family to belong with and to pull strength from.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words always hurt me more.
That's why we are here. We want to stop bullying and change lives.
I don't remember how, but at some point I learned what self-harm was, and after months of not eating, trying my best and falling short, I started. I felt so useless and worthless. I wondered all the time, why didn't anyone see that I was hurting, that I just wanted help. My family was there, but things were always rough. My mom and dad always fought. It was always an argument, and eventually the house just turned to pure hell. As Christmas Day ended and the night came to a close, everyone was sleeping but me, and I had other plans. Around 11 p.m. I went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife and a lot of bottles of random prescription pills from the cabinet. I went back to my room and I didn't hesitate, but one by one I took down handfuls of pills. Words like attention seeker, freak, and suicidal started to pour in. I still deal with bullying every single day. It's not easy, but I try my best I can.
So this is something that she's struggling through.
I don't know, it's almost like a cry for help. This is dark.
Yeah, she's reaching out because she obviously needs the support system. She needs the love, and she needs us, is what it comes down to. So here comes my next question, is how would you feel about me getting out of here and shooting down to Kentucky to get to her and her family?
I think it's a great idea. I don't know that we've got a lot of time, and I mean, clearly there's some stuff that needs to be addressed. And if you can get out there and kind of look at everything, and if you think you need us, we'll head that way. So
I'm gonna shoot down there, and I'm gonna give you a call after I'm done talking to her family and see where we can go from there.
Sounds good.
I'm going to meet up with Dr. Van Pelt real quick. She's a pediatric psychologist. She can't make the trip to Kentucky, but we want to make sure that we get some information from her after she sees Brittany's story so that we have the information we need to help this family out.
I'm going to take a seat around the corner here on the sofa.
Perfect.
Yeah, wow, it sounds like you've got a lot going on today.
You know, it's a pretty intense story.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready to catch the plane to Kentucky. And I know you've had a chance to read Brittany's submission. And from my perspective, my biggest concern going into this is obviously, we're going to go out there. We want to connect with her, and we want to give her an awesome prom, which we found out is the next day. And we want it to be an experience that she'll remember for the rest of her life. However, in the submission, you can tell, I mean, there are layers and layers. It's pretty deep, and I wanted to make sure that I'm prepared to handle it and be armed with whatever advice you can give me so that we leave them with what they need when we leave Kentucky.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to watch the submission tape and read over her submission. It sounds like a lot's going on for this young girl and a lot for her family.
It does. I mean, it's pretty deep.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like one of the things that has historically gone on for her is she had a suicide attempt, which is huge. Sounds like there's some family dynamic issues, some arguing with the parents, which is always stressful on the children. Sounds like she's still got an awful lot of bullying and an awful lot of things going on after she switched schools. So what are some of your plans for her when you get there?
Well, I think the biggest thing, since you're not coming,
right,
and I understand that, I would like to be able to reach out if we need to, because my biggest concern is, obviously, you're the pro, and I want to make sure that we reassure her how important she is and that she's loved and that she really is cared about. But beyond that, that's where you're going to play a huge role. And so if you can be available to us,
absolutely.
I'm sure at some point I'll have some footage to send you, and then we can Skype and chat about it, just so you can kind of guide me down the road to make sure that we're covering and doing the things we need to do, so when we leave Kentucky, this family is in a much better place.
I would really like that. I think if we could team up, I think that would be really helpful for this family, and hopefully we can provide her and her whole family with some support and guidance on what to do going forward, particularly with the bullying, but all of these issues that she has going on, which seems like there's several of them for the submission.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, yes.
Get on my way.
Absolutely. I'll lead you out here.
And I'll be in touch. I'm here in Kentucky, and we've pulled up to Brittany's family's home. We're going to sit down with Mom and Dad.
Well, I hope people just grasp like the concept for one, and see everybody and see how people are working together. Like this is something new, and this is something that's, you know, it's at the perfect time. It's a good platform to do it, and I just hope it helped the world. Main thing is just teaching the world by being ourselves, who we are, and letting everybody know to accept each other.
Had an incredible meeting with Dr. Van Pelt, and she agreed this is a very deep, dark story that we've shared with her with Brittany, and there's going to be a lot of components to it. The good news is she's going to be available to us even though she's here in Dallas. We'll be able to reach out to her from Kentucky on the fly if we need her. I'm here in Kentucky, and we've pulled up to Brittany's family's home. We're going to sit down with Mom and Dad. Hi, Ash.
Hey, Tony.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Thanks for coming all the way out here.
Good to see you.
Okay, this is Brittany's mom. I'm Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. I'm Tony.
And her stepdad, Caleb.
Hi, Caleb.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Y'all
Shall we
ready
go
to
in
go
and talk?
inside?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I know we're here probably for circumstances that, you know, we wish they were better. But you're familiar that Brittany sent us a story on the Bullies.tv website. Have you guys had a chance to look over that? Are you familiar with what Brittany shared with us?
Yes, she just shared it with us a couple of nights ago.
Were you aware of the depth of it?
No.
Not at all.
At what point did you know something was wrong and something wasn't right?
I didn't know anything was wrong until the night she attempted to take her own life.
That's scary. That was the first that she realized anything was wrong. It's as if she was oblivious to everything going on in her daughter's life prior to that event. Your initial reaction when you walk in and see all that, obviously adrenaline's flowing. After her dad gets her out of the house and heads to the hospital, you've got a moment to kind of collect yourself. What's your first thought as mom, seeing your daughter lay there in that state?
It was awful. Just not being able to do anything to help her. I felt like a terrible parent.
Statistically, obviously, it's very scary when you look at the numbers when it's regarding bullying and the suicide rate, and what you walked into, no parent wants to ever see in their lives. But have you had an opportunity since then to talk to Brittany and really get a feel for the type of bullying that she encountered that led to that day, that evening?
She said they made comments because she was smart. I said, so, you know, you just can't let things like that bother you. What were some of the other things that
I remember
she
one of the
said?
things she mentioned was that there were comments made that she wasn't as skinny as some of the other girls, and
Right,
it
yeah.
got to a point to where she was not eating and lying about when she was eating.
Yes, it's hard. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to send them off to school because I don't know what's going on or what's being said to them or.
When did you start to address some of the things to dig deep and find out maybe what brought this on in the first place.
Well, I mean, I did ask questions. She really didn't want to talk or answer, and I really didn't push the issue because at that time I felt if I pushed the issue, maybe I would push her back into doing something else. So.
And did you struggle though with the alternative? If I don't push it, maybe this could get worse.
I did, but I really didn't know what to do.
Have you thought about getting professional help or someone trying to help balance that out to make her realize that she is loved, she is important?
She is the type of person that doesn't like talking to anybody, like a therapist or somebody like that I would take her to talk to.
I'm baffled. I mean, I felt like she was dancing around the question. Did you get your daughter help professionally? And it doesn't seem like that's a road they want to walk. What do you feel your options are to avoid a round two? What are you doing? Do you have a routine? Is there a process? Is there, communication? What types of steps are you taking to try to stay on top of it and avoid what happened with Brittany? I still have no idea what led her to get up and walk out in the middle of an interview. There's one story that really sticks out in my mind of a high school girl who had a debilitating brain disease, and sadly her classmates bullied her, and they did it through extremes, setting up fake phone numbers and fake online accounts and texting her, telling her she'd be better off dead. Thankfully, we were able to get to that girl before anything tragic happened, and we need to put a stop to this. We need to go in and remind these kids who are being bullied just how much they're loved and how important they are. What are you doing? Do you have a routine? Is there a process? Is there, communication? What types of steps are you taking to try to stay on top of it and avoid what happened with Brittany? How has this affected the family and the other kids through all this?
My youngest daughter, I realized she had been cutting too.
Can I have a minute?
Yeah, you okay?
Just need a minute.
She's outside regrouping. Some of our producers are talking to her, but I still have no idea what led her to get up and walk out in the middle of an interview. It was clear that it was a little more than Ashley could handle, and the tension was building. She became more and more seemingly awkward, and I gotta be honest, I was thrown off and shocked that we're in the middle of an interview with this family and she gets up and walks out of the room. You good? We don't have any more time with Mom and Dad, and it was clear that they'd put up a wall, but it's time to move on and focus on Brittany's story.
I really want to walk away with knowing that everything will be fixed, that everything for me will kind of come to a conclusion because I'll have my story out there, everybody will know. It won't be stuff that I've bottled up anymore.
So I see this girl who has been tragically bullied get off the bus, and she's got a big smile on her face. She's really, really happy, and you have to ask the question, is this a facade? With everything that we dealt with Mom and Dad in the interview, and now seeing this, what's really going on here? If she's at that place in her life, that's awesome. But I want to make sure there's nothing else going on. There's nothing we're missing. Make sure that there's nothing that is being hidden. We want to make sure she truly is okay before we leave Kentucky. So that night, Christmas, what did you want to happen?
I wanted to die. I didn't want to wake up.
What did you think that would resolve?
It would make me feel better. I would have been happier. At the time, I wouldn't have had to deal with anything anymore, so I would have been happier.
Like you would have felt that you would have found a peace?
Yeah, I felt that I would have been a lot peaceful not being here with all the arguing and the stuff at school and all that. And I felt like it would make everybody else a lot happier with the way they treated me, so I felt like it would make them a lot happier if they didn't have to deal with me, because I was obviously causing them some kind of problems.
Thankfully, you're here talking to us about it, but after that and after you recovered, were you upset that the plan didn't?
For a while, yeah. I wanted to do it again, but at the time I couldn't. For some reason I couldn't push myself to do it again, which made me hurt even more, because then when I couldn't push myself to try to commit suicide again, I felt like I wasn't even good enough to I couldn't even kill myself the right way. So I obviously couldn't do anything right. It just kind of made it worse that I couldn't get myself to do it.
There was immediate awkwardness as we walked into the kitchen. Almost a tad disturbing, as if it were a joke. I was thrown off at how Brittany approached it and started sharing her story. I know this is deep and it's dark and it's probably something one doesn't want to relive, but it was almost as if it was comical at times. And what she went through that day, what her family witnessed that day, there's nothing funny about it. One of the things that your mom told us when we were talking to her earlier that we didn't know about coming into this, that was not in your story, and it caught us off guard, is on top of all this, on top of what you've been through, that your 13-year-old sister has also done self-harm.
Yeah, she has. Sadly, I don't know much about it. She doesn't tell me much about it. She doesn't talk about it much. So really, all I know about her situation is that she has self-harmed before, but that's all I know. She had no clue what self-harm was until I did it, and she never would have found out until I did it. For a long time, she didn't know what happened. She didn't know what went on. After she found out what self-harm was, I think that's kind of, she found something to result to.
Does it scare you?
Yeah, it's scary. But she doesn't talk about it, so I can't do anything to help.
If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna go and talk to Emily. I feel like there's some things that her and I need to discuss.
So I'm trying to get something of substance out of Brittany, and I'm digging. I mean, this is what I do, and it's not going anywhere, and I'm starting to get frustrated. And all of a sudden, Ashley, in the middle of me trying to get something out of Brittany, decides we're done, and she's moving on to something else to go talk to Emily. I mean, this is after she already walked out on the interview with Mom and Dad.
We were talking to your parents earlier, and your mother touched on the fact that you have begun self-harming yourself.
So Ashley takes off to go talk to Emily, and this is perfect for me. I actually will get some one-on-one time with Brittany, so we go out front to chat. You said something when we were in the kitchen that really stood out to me, that you're not a very emotional person, that you don't express emotion a lot.
Well, I can express emotions, just there were so many cameras, and so it was more of a relief to get it out than it was hard for me to get it out.
But I noticed one thing that really triggered you emotionally, and that's your dad.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff with my dad's pretty hard to talk about. It made me focus more on that pain than the pain that I had going on inside, I guess.
How'd you find out about self-harming yourself?
My sister used to do it. So I had to like learn at a really early age what it was.
What concerns you most about your dad with what he's gone through and where he's at?
Probably the fact that I don't think he'll ever really be happy. Because he can't get to a stable place. He doesn't have the money for it or the time or anything like that.
I keep hitting walls. It's crickets. We got nowhere. Now Ashley's come out of the house after her chat with Emily. That apparently went nowhere.
When I got into the kitchen and they started asking me questions about the story and asking me to read my submission that I sent in and all that, it was easier than I thought it would be.
I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. Like, I feel like I can't get anything out of them. Like, honest to God, they have a ton to give. You can't, this is more than just bullying.
I know, but this is why we're here. Just take a deep breath. And I know it's easier said than done, but we've got to be strong for them and those girls. It's all gonna be good. Just take a deep breath. I struck out with Brittany. We're all standing around talking about what is really going on here. We feel like the whole family's gone wrong. I have got to talk to Dr. Van Pelt, and hopefully she'll have some advice so that I can get through to Brittany and hopefully save this trip.
If we're not going to help these people, let's get on the plane and go back to Dallas. If it's not going like we planned, it's a nightmare.
Hey, it's Tony, and we're going to go find out what it's like when a community comes together to help in bullying.
When people think of bullying, they think like pushing someone into a locker, like stealing, things like that, stealing their lunch money and stuff. But like, what people don't realize is like every single day kids are bullied online, like all you have to do is hide behind your phone.
I'm here because I want to make a difference. I want the community's voice to be heard by everybody, not just the school, not just the school district, but the legislators.
When one person says just stop, don't do it anymore, eventually more people come together, and it's a group of people like these people that are going to change it.
This is the time to start acting and acting strong.
It's not going like we planned, that's for sure.
It's not going like we planned. It's a nightmare. I just spent a fortune to come out here.
Right.
Everything I asked her on the phone was this, that, and the other thing, and it was so heartfelt. It was so amazing.
We're not getting any of that.
No, all we're getting is a bunch of bull. I got a host that can't keep her composure because she feels like this family is not going along with the program.
Right. But what more can we do?
Get them off the script, because this is definitely scripted. The whole thing is scripted. They knew what they were going to say before we even got here.
I don't know. It doesn't help. I don't mean to throw her under the bus, but it doesn't help that in the middle of this, we're trying to be pros and trying to get a story out of these people, and in the middle of it, Ashley gets up and walks out.
And the biggest thing for me is I could have gone and helped somebody else. We had opportunities, we have a lot of submissions. We could have been out helping somebody else. And if we got pulled out of here out of Catfish, and I believe that the girl was bullied. I believe that she's gone through hell. The only thing I don't believe is that it happened at school.
I think there's something else going on here.
Yeah,
I think it's deeper than bullying. I think there's a lot going on in that house that we don't know about, and I think this is why I told you before we came on this trip, we need a psychologist, somebody that's a pro involved, and thankfully Dr. Van Pelt is available to us, and I think she needs to see some of this footage.
Well, then that's what you're gonna have to do, but you gotta get the composure, everybody's gotta get their shit together, and we gotta make this story count. If we're not gonna help these people, let's get on the plane and go back to Dallas. This is the solution. You kind of push Ashley aside, get her out of the picture, take over, do it the way you think you can get it done. Talk to Dr. Van Pelt. Maybe she gives you some insight. Maybe you can get some information out of these people. I'll play roadblock for you. I'll keep the family off your ass.
Okay.
And then we go from there.
All right, we'll get the video to Dr. Van Pelt and see what happens.
Done.
Skype with Dr. Van Pelt, and I'm looking forward to the feedback she's going to give us to make today better than yesterday. Hey, Dr. Van Pelt.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Doing okay, considering it's been pretty rough so far, and we're kind of running into some roadblocks, and I hope you've had a chance to look at the video and some of the footage we've sent to you.
Absolutely. I did have a chance to review everything, and you're right. It seems like we've got some defensiveness, some lack of connection from everyone. I did see that you were really trying to connect with Brittany, and I think that's tremendous, and keep trying on that front. I did notice in one of the clips that she had said that, you know, she felt uncomfortable with the camera, so I was so glad you got that opportunity to kind of, I noticed that was when she was alone with you. It seems like she's a more close, intimate person, and maybe when she gets that opportunity to be with you more one-on-one, that might be a really good way to help you support her.
Well, and that's kind of what we ran into. You know, when I got her out front, I thought this is a great opportunity. We're alone. She shut down. And I'm noticing some consistency with that.
So Tony, I know tonight is prom, and that is such a huge moment in a young girl's life. It is imperative that this goes off flawlessly. I know you guys can do it, but I really think this one-on-one time you need to have with Brittany before she goes into this prom moment.
You've seen some of the footage from yesterday. Any recommendations from a clinical side on how to connect with her? Because I know the emotions are there. We read it in the submission, but we're not seeing it since we've been here. So do you have any thoughts on that?
It seemed like the things that really struck home for her were her attempted suicide. I really think that was a pivotal moment in her life, and she, you know, has some insight and some wisdom for a young girl, but I think if you could touch on that and really try to get her to open up about her suicide attempt and maybe even suicidal ideation going forward, you know, what would she have missed out on, or you know, what would have been different?
Yeah, that's a lot easier said than done. The crew's, I mean, obviously frustrated, and there's pressure, and you know, we've got to get to the boutique, we've got to get the shopping spree in, we've got to get her hair done and makeup. We're going to have to push everything back as it is, and we're already in the time crunch. So I'm going to have to get with her this morning and try to make this happen as quickly as possible.
I think that's a great idea. I really think that'll set her on the right path to go to prom in such an elevated mood, and really I think that'll be tremendous for everyone to see.
No pressure, right?
No pressure.
Thanks, Dr. Van Pelt. I appreciate it. I'm glad Dr. Van Pelt had some great advice. The problem is now we're up against time, and we've already got to worry about the shopping spree and the makeup and getting her ready for prom tonight. And now I have to find some way to squeeze in a little time to sit down with Brittany and have a one-on-one. I don't know how we're going to do it, but Dr. Van Pelt said it has to be done. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. It cannot be the same thing as yesterday. It is imperative that I connect with Brittany.
When Tony asked me to come down here to the park to chat with him, I was nervous. I didn't know what we were going to talk about.
Let's have a seat.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the experience so far. I mean, I know it's a lot to process, and knowing that there's probably kids that'll watch this that are in that place that you were at, what advice to them would you give?
You just...
It's okay.
You can't let people get to you. You can't let somebody tear you down enough that you hurt yourself. And suicide is never the answer, and that's a really cliche thing to say because everybody says that, but taking your own life doesn't solve anything. It takes away your opportunity to be able to fix anything. If I had taken my life, it would have taken my opportunity to be able to tell everyone now about bullying and about how bad it is. And even to kids who do bully others, I don't think they realize just what they can do to a person. Once you've broken somebody, you can't fix it. Once something is broken, nobody can come in and fix it. Nothing can come and make it better. It's always going to be, it's never going to be the same.
Had you lost your life that night, knowing what life's been like from that point to today, what do you think your biggest regret on missing out on would have been?
Probably Probably seeing my family grow, seeing my baby brothers be born. Just getting to see everybody grow up and make it through what they're going through. I mean, I'm glad I'm still here. I'm glad that I was able to get through it. I can be able to help others now and kind of make things better. And my parents are happier now, and they're just happy I'm here.
And I don't want you to lose sight or hope of those things that you just mentioned, your family, your siblings, your dad, your mom, that love you have for life, and I know you do because I've seen it the last 2 days. And just stay strong. I feel like Brittany finally opened up. We finally get a sense of the impact that the bullying has had on this girl.
It was a good opportunity for me to be able to get things that I wanted.
Every year, 28% of children in grades 6 through 12 experience bullying.
Over 14% of high school students have considered suicide, and almost 7% actually attempted it.
Thousands of people commit suicide every year, and if we can make a difference with just one person, that makes our movement a success.
Please help us fight bullying by visiting our website at bullies.tv. There, you can share your story and join the movement.
I feel like Brittany finally opened up. We finally get a sense of the impact that the bullying has had on this girl. The emotion we saw on that park bench was what I expected day one, and for whatever reason, we just hadn't got there. But today was real. You saw a girl who contemplated the most tragic of decisions, and thankfully she was here today to recognize what she would have missed out on.
When he started asking me the questions, I was really overwhelmed. Some of the questions were kind of surprising. They got really deep, but I knew that that was where I needed to be. I needed to go deeper into my story, and I needed to be able to explain more, to be able to help the kids that I'm trying to help, and just be able to get it all out and get over that bump that had been holding me back. It was overwhelming, but I was really glad that he did what he did. I think he knew where I was too, and he knew that I had more that I needed to get out. I'm really excited about tonight. I'm excited about prom. I'm excited about getting my hair done, getting my makeup done, getting to dress up.
There they are. Come on in, ladies. All right, you guys are obviously gonna have a field day in this place. So I'm gonna let you guys do your girl thing. I'm gonna step aside, shop, have fun, and enjoy your time.
Okay, thanks, Tony.
You're welcome. Dr. Van Pelt made it very clear that today has to go off perfectly. And what day is bigger for any girl other than prom? It is a must. We must make this happen, and we've got to get all this done and get her back home so she's not a minute late to prom tonight. So here's my concern. We've surprised her with the shopping spree, but let's be honest. A girl in this boutique, is she really going to be able to pull it off in the little time that we have? We'll see.
When we went in the store, they greeted me and they were really nice, and I got to pick out a bunch of clothes, and Ashley helped me pick out clothes. She picked out a lot of cute outfits. She kind of asked me how I liked the dress, and she picked out clothes that really met with what I wanted and what I said I wanted, and she helped me try them on, and I got to walk in and show them all everything and listen to everybody's compliments and stuff, and it was really fun. It was really a good experience.
I don't know how we're going to do this. shopping spree's over, but now we have to jump in the Bullies van and drive an hour to get her hair done.
Getting the clothes was really nice. I never really had that, so it was a good opportunity for me to be able to get things that I wanted.
So Brittany's in the chair getting her hair done, and I look over at Mom, and there's like no sense of excitement. She's stone-faced. We're giving her daughter the prom of a lifetime, and it seems like she doesn't really care. So we've got an hour's drive back to get her into makeup, and I don't know that we have enough time. I'm really starting to doubt we're gonna pull this off. You know, it's been a rough couple days just sharing the story, but I think, you know, once you guys got to the Look Boutique and she got to shop a little bit and then seeing her at the salon, what's her mood been throughout the day today as she gears up for prom tonight?
Oh, she's been excited. She's happy. She's ready to get there.
Is she?
And I'm sure that makes both of y'all happy, seeing her just full of happiness and excitement and joy.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, let's do
Hey,
this.
yeah.
Without further ado, I'm thinking we hit it out of the ballpark within seconds. Her and Mom start going at it, and Mom still doesn't seem happy for her. Today's modern form of bullying has reached epidemic new heights. Share your bullying story with us online at bullies.tv.
There, you will also find resources, real-life stories, and join our movement to end bullying.
It's been a stressful day, and our goal was to make sure it all came together perfectly. Dr. Van Pelt said it had to, and we were able to pull it off. But you really don't appreciate it all until that moment when we're standing out front. I'm talking to Mom and Stepdad, and that door swings open. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
You look stunning. And here comes Brittany, looking stunning. And the gorgeous dress she picked out, the amazing heels with her date, and a smile on her face that I'll never forget.
Wow. Are you ready?
Yes.
The car is ready for you guys as well. You guys head out on your way and have a great time tonight. Have a lot of fun.
I want a picture with my dad and Mama. I know.
I'm thinking this is one of the happiest moments of the trip. She walks out, she's looking stunning. She's got her date, she's ready for prom. And then it kind of falls apart.
You can take pictures. You want to take pictures? Whatever you guys would do. Don't worry about us. Do you want to take pictures?
I have no clue what's going on. I don't know what we're doing. Come on.
As we're leaving for the prom, we're just shooting it. Whatever you guys want to do.
She starts yelling at crew members, asking what she needs to do. Mom and her start bickering. Mom still doesn't seem happy. confident she's going to have an amazing prom. They're going to have a blast of a night tonight. And I'm happy we were able to pull off what we were able to pull off today. But there's still that little part of me that just wonders and is concerned. Are we leaving here and have we done what we came to do? Or is there more to this story that we just don't know about? And I just hope the best for Brittany and hope that we've made some type of impact on her life today. So thanks again for the advice for day 2. I was able to get Brittany at one-on-one, and we really saw her open up. We saw some of those emotions that you expected if given the opportunity. The other thing we were able to do that I was a little concerned about, we were up against time, but we still got her hair done, makeup, she had the shopping spree, she picked out her dress for prom, she looked stunning, and I think prom was a complete home run.
Good.
One of the other things that we made available to the family was a mental health professional. We seen that, you know, we all agreed it was very imperative that that was accessible to them.
Necessary.
And I was happy to hear that we sent a crew out and found out that she's gotten to a point where she's comfortable enough that she actually got up on stage at church and shared her story with her entire congregation. Now, hearing that, what are your thoughts on that?
I am just, that is really touching. That is really wonderful. What a brave, bold move for this young girl who has come through so much and really has had a lot of ups and downs in life, and seems like she continues to struggle with a lot of things. Was able to get up and share with her support network all that she's going through, and hopefully with that they can provide some support back. My hope for them and for the whole family is that that congregation is really a supportive piece for them. And for her, that's a really bold move. And it seems like she's kind of found her voice and is able to speak out about these things. It seems like this is not a dark secret anymore. You know, the bullying is out there and she wants it to be known. And part of it is talking about it. And I think talking about it is just a quintessential piece of making it better.
I don't think we would have had the happy ending we did without your help and your advice, and for that I'm very thankful.
Thank you.